Jesus. What is up, everybody? It's the Commissioner, Jimmy Milstead, of the League Fantasy Hockey, and we are in the waning moments of Week 10 of the League Fantasy Hockey. There's a lot of great games going. Commissioner's Corner usually done on Facebook Live, but we're doing this on YouTube. No Stork tonight, but holy crap. This is not a Stork's Desk show, but our buddy, the Colonel Nick Reedy, is back. Nick, it's so good to see you. So much has gone on with your Minnesota Wild. How you been? We haven't seen you since October.
Oh, buddy, it's just been busy. I appreciate you bringing me back on. I know at one point I was a staple, and then was removed for a while out and getting ready for other things that were going on, and timing was just wrong. But I'm back. I'm excited. I'm ready, and here I am on my first ever edition of the Commissioner's Corner. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, we never do a Commissioner's Corner. It's not ever really on YouTube. But tonight we thought we were going to do a Stork's Desk. Stork having fun with the family. He's at an event, a Christmas event, looking at trains, getting his Christmas nerd on. But his Maple Leafs and his fantasy team, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Your team, sir, great looking ball cap you got there. Minnesota Wild. Tell us about your Minnesota Wild ever since the coaching change. They look, what are they, 7-2?
Yeah,
something like
7-2. 7-2.
What do you think?
They've run off a few 3-game win streaks and then lost a couple, and kind of in between. But they're looking much better. I'm one of those guys that was sad to see Dino go. I mean, incredible coach, incredible dude. But you can't have a team with the amount of star power we do, and the ability that we have to do what they did at the beginning of the season was just unacceptable. And Billy Guerin is never going to sit there and wait. And it's always been built by most of the Minnesota teams that we have here is we never rebuild completely. We never, break down to rebuild. We rebuild slow, and we try to be competitive the whole time. And, Billy's, that's just that type of way. And Guerin would never let his teams not be competitive, even during a rebuild. The Suter and Parisi money is still killing us. It's going to kill us next year. So we're kind of hamstrung. Some of our young players like Sammy Walker, Marco Rossi, we were able to bring up, but some of those other guys we got down in Iowa, Wallstead and, Mermis, and there's just a plethora of young talent we have that we just can't bring up because we don't have the money to pay them. Where if we brought Sammy up a couple more times, which he was starting to feel it as a winger, we'd have to pay him, and we just don't have the money to pay. So it's been hard. There's been some rumors going around about possible trade for, trading Pat Maroon away to try and get a little bit more of that money to bring some of those guys up. But I think that would be a mistake. The team is humming right now. Keep them going. Let them rock and roll. The Gus Bus is back, which is the biggest plus. Our goaltending's back. And even the Flowers looking to his self again. So whatever they did, it worked. Again, I'm sad to see Dino go. I think he's an incredible coach, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I remember talking to you the morning of. You were not, like you said, impressed that it was going to be John Hines, but this guy, I think he does a great job with his guys. Big win for you guys. Were you at the game yesterday? You beat the Vancouver Canucks.
No, I was actually the last 2 games I've actually missed. I had a retirement party on Thursday, which I missed. The Calgary game, my kid said it was a phenomenal game. Went to shootout.
Yeah, I watched
it. And then again, look at last night or Saturday night. Yeah, last night, Vancouver, and heck of a game and heck of an outcome. So that's the first time I've seen a shootout that ends with the first person scoring and go through multiple frames of saves before it was called. So great game though. Like I said, great hockey. We beat one of the top scoring teams in the league in the past, last 10 games. One of the best power plays, and we didn't get our power play going, but our kill was definitely better. So, and that's without our top 2 defenders. So I'm excited. I think that there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah. All right. Kudos to the Minnesota Wild. I got my phone next to me, Nick. As we said, we're in the waning moments of Week 10. We have the Vegas Golden Knights beating the Ottawa Senators right now, 5-2. Could be the next coach to go, DJ Smith. I mean, they say they're going to keep him, but the fan base there and people on Twitter and all my socials that I watch for NHL fan, sounds like he is just getting bombarded. DJ Smith He's a player's coach. The players love him in Ottawa, but you got to think. I hate seeing guys lose their jobs, but you got to think this guy's on the hot seat next. Um, Ottawa, so much talent. I picked them to make the playoffs. I don't know if you did. I'm pretty sure a lot of us did.
I think I
They
did.
continue. They continue to struggle. They're at the bottom of the Atlantic, and they're playing the defending champs right now. And they keep showing clips of DJ Smith there on the bench. He looks like a dead man walking to me. I don't know what it is, but um, in other news, my Capitals pull out a big victory. Scoring is really down, but we beat the Carolina Hurricanes, a big divisional win. Canes, I don't know what their problem is. I picked them to win the Stanley Cup, Nick. Uh, they were on a long ass road trip. They've had some bad losses, understandably, but they just look like a sloppy hockey team today. I haven't really watched too many Hurricanes games, but today I saw firsthand they're still quick. Sebastian Aho scored their only goal. But there's something missing there. I know Freddie Anderson's going to be hitting the ice again soon. Good to see him get well again. They sent Antti Ranta down south as he cleared waivers. He's in the minors, or I guess they were able to keep him. But the Kachekov guy played a phenomenal game today, but they lost in a shootout to the Caps. A big road victory for our boys. Ovi continues to struggle, but I didn't. The Caps continue to do way better than I thought. I don't have them making the playoffs, but they're passing some teams back in the Metro off tonight. Let me rattle off the scores real quick, Nick, before I hand it back over to you. Um, we had the day game today was Vancouver again. They were on the road and they beat Chicago, Bedard and company 4-3. Kudos to the Blackhawks. They battled back, but Brock Besser, man, he continues to put pucks in net, and I don't remember who has him. Do you have him?
No, no. I tried picking him up
We'll find him.
early, but
For some reason, I can't remember who has him, but we'll
yeah.
look that up in a minute. So Vancouver beat Chicago 4-3 as the Blackhawks continue. They're actually looking like the worst team right now and might have a chance at Macklin Celebrini the way they're going. The other final, like I said, the Caps survive in a shootout to the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. Kuzi got a sick shootout goal in that one. Anaheim Ducks, like we said, they shocked the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey 5-1. Former Devil Adam Henrique, I believe, had a hat trick in this game. I wasn't watching that one. We'll look up stats in a minute, but I think I saw that he scored a hat trick. Like I said, games going on right now in the third period. Colorado leads San Jose 4-1 as the Sharks they were playing some good hockey and they're hitting a run again. Colorado's looking like a wagon. No Cale Makar tonight. He's on my fantasy team, Nick. My captain hasn't been playing. It might hurt me. And then Vegas right now holds a 5-2 lead. Lots of time to the third, but Ottawa looks like they're going to kill a penalty here. They have a lot to climb back in against the champs. Doesn't have to be today, Nick, but what's been standing out to you this week in the world of hockey, man? I know we talked about your Wild. What other teams? What's going on, guys?
Well, let's talk about Brock Bozer, and he's with Woody's got him, and that's part of the reason that Woody's been so good.
Oh yeah, Mark Wood
coming
has
down
him
the
up
stretch, yeah. But the Canucks, they're just a freight train all of a sudden, and we saw them flashes of it last year. I mean, they could score and they could put it in, but they are a freight train, and their goaltending's been much better. I don't know how we were able to get by Desmet. I mean, he just is incredible when he plays the Wild. I think that was his first loss he'd ever had against the Wild. But they just have an incredible team. I still stick by my druthers when it comes to Connor Bedard. I think that we're starting to see the piece that he's just missing, and I hope to God he gets better at it because the kid can score. I mean, the kid's got a shot, but he needs to learn how to play as a teammate, and he needs to learn how to build the team around him. So, and now that Corey Perry's not there with the drama that was going on there, I hope that maybe we can pick it up. But this week, it seemed like, and maybe it was just me, but there wasn't that many games. It seems like we're starting to get into the holiday season a little bit early than we normally do throughout the year.
I know what you're saying there, buddy. It was tough for me to fill my roster every day. There's a lot of games during some of the days, and it just seemed like I was always outmatched by my opponent, Alex. We'll talk about individual matchups in a minute, but I know what you're saying, man. The schedule was really weird this week. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, and some of it too, I've noticed is there's been a lot of, you talked about playing Carolina today and, in the Metro, but even for me as a Wild fan, I think 70% of the games we've played this year have been against the East. We've only had like 3 or 4 solid games against our division where we could start climbing up. And of course it was hitting when we were hitting the rut when we played, some of those teams, but it's been really, really kind of weird because that rivalry hasn't started from the beginning of the year that drags on through the playoffs. It's going to be more of like, hey, after Christmas, that's all you're playing is your division and get tough because half of them are going to
Yeah.
be coming at you. But um, so that was kind of a weird scheduling kind of thing. The Wild just came off of a 10-day trip where they were out and
Yeah.
then finally came back home for these last 2 games. So that was kind of interesting. And then you throw Sweden in there and the games that we played, Toronto and some of the other teams that had to go to Sweden. That was kind of one of those weird ones too, where one was a home game, but it really wasn't. Um,
Yeah.
but it was amazing to see those guys go out there and play in front of those Swedish fans because they really know hockey and seeing them get excited to have them, the NHL there was great. But yeah, this week it's been kind of more of the same. I mean, we look at some of the top scorers, Austin Matthews, incredible. Never thought he'd be this good this year. I thought he might take a step back, still be elite, but I never thought he'd be just insane
Yeah.
that he's been playing this year.
Him and his Leafs, Storks having fun. They
Yeah.
crushed Kyle Dubas in the return of him and the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night. Um, let's go over goal scorers real quick, though, Nick.
Okay.
Brock Besser today tied Austin Matthews, 23 goals apiece. So it's an interesting race for the Rocket. I'm not sure what Matthews was out for. I wish Stork was here because I didn't watch the Leafs game. Hopefully Matthews is back because I'm enjoying that race. And what about Nikita Kucherov, Nick? He's on the Wendigo Whalen's team. Whalen having a bump in a row this week, though. 20 goals for Nikita Kucherov. So I think he's a possible Hart Trophy guy. Pasta continues to, and your boy Sam Reinhart, man, I'm gonna let you take this. Sam Reinhart and Sidney Crosby at 17, and unfortunately Kyle Connor, he's out 6 to 8 weeks. He was
Yep.
excellent with 17 goals. Those are your top goal scorers right now. Let's talk about Sam Reinhart, man. He's on your fantasy team.
The one
Go
guy, I
ahead.
mean, there's no, I look at some of the players that I have that the Norsemen have, and we got some pretty streaky players. Like Stamkos is always good for some points, but it could go, a week without scoring. Reinhardt has been consistent from the beginning of the season, and the way he's playing hockey, the way he's approaching it is completely different than what it was last year, and it's showing. Um, great player. The only player that I could kind of say last year that I had that kind of is up on that is the Ottawa who's playing right now and Claude. And I thought that he was kind of took a little regression, but still, again, some constant goal scores. And you can tell by my points this week on the fantasy side, I'm playing the champ. So I had to put my best foot forward, and I'm coming off of 40 to 50 point weeks, and I can't even break 40. So it's just been a weird week. And all of a sudden, I know you've said it many times on the, Storks report is my goaltending actually showed up this week, and I
Yeah,
won the goaltending stats, but my points
unreal.
are gone. So we'll
Yeah.
get it together. It's been,
Hey, man,
there's no way from up.
it's not early in the season anymore, but it is. There is still time left as far as I wouldn't panic if I were you, Nick. You're a very strong team, in my opinion. Like you said, you just got to get in the chemistry lab there and put it all together, I guess. But we'll dive into some matchups in a minute. But I wanted to go over. Let's go over total points. Back to Nikita Kucherov. He was the first man, Nick, to hit 50. He's at 52 already. They struggled a little bit on the Western trip. Steve Stamkos had a 4-goal game. What was it in Edmonton the other night? I don't know if you saw that. And JT Miller, do you have him?
No, I do not. I have Stamkos.
Okay, you have Stammer. Okay, did you
Yep.
see that 4-goal game? Stammer, still not. I don't think he's gonna finish with Tampa Bay Lightning, buddy. I don't know. Obviously, there's only so much money to go around, but all signs point to this guy not being here next year. I know he's playing for this year. I think he's looking pretty good, actually. But what are you thinking of Stammer, man?
No, I think he's
Another
playing
good.
great. Like I said, he gets kind of streaky though sometimes, where it'll be a couple of times before he'll put any points up, but then all of a sudden he'll throw a 4-goal game at you, or he'll throw 3 assists or something else. I mean, he's a great centerman, and I think when they have him on that top line, that he is, he's the quarterback. He's doing everything he possibly can. I do absolutely agree with you. I cannot see Tampa keeping him plus half of their players with the amount of money that they're going to have to owe because of the pedigree that they've built throughout the playoffs in the past few years. So it'll be interesting to go. I could see him going to another contender at the very end of the year, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt any team's going to be able to pick up that amount of money next year. And don't hold me to this, but I'm going to make a bold prediction. You could be seeing him on the Chicago Blackhawks as one of their
Oh
top
shit! I
centers
never thought
because
about that. Never
because
thought
if
about that.
if they if they end up playing the way they are and end up at the bottom of the league, they don't need their first draft round pick. They got Bedard. They have
Yeah,
their guy. You give it to Tampa, let them rebuild. You get somebody like, a vet like Stammer who can go up and pass it to
that's
Bedard when he
never
needs
thought
to.
about that.
So
I don't know what the Wings cap space is like now. They got Patty Kane, but I could see him going back with Stevie Y there
yeah.
in Detroit. But I'm not a capologist. I don't know what kind of money would be. That's something to think about next year, I guess. But I still think Stamkos is an elite player. And but back to the point race, he's not up there. I was talking about JT Miller at
Yep.
45. I got to find out who has him. Nikita Kucherov belongs to Whalen. Whalen though, his problem is goaltending. Nate McKinnon and Julio. Julio, I wish he could have joined us tonight. He joined us for the first time ever on the Storks Report the other night. Nick, I would love for you to be on the same show with him. Hopefully, we can get you guys together. But Nate McKinnon, his first overall pick from this past draft, 43 points for Nate Mack. Unofficially, I don't know what he's got tonight. The Breadman, another Whalen guy, 42 points. Connor McDavid is starting to warm up. He's up there at 41 already. The Pasta Man, David Pasternak. He had a bad hit the other night, Nick, on I can't remember who he put into the boards there, but he got ejected out of that game. But Pasta, usually a gentlemanly player, he's got 41 points. I can't believe I passed up on him, Nick.
Yep.
William Nylander's at 40 for the Leafs. Quinn Hughes, 39 points for Vancouver. That's Quinn Hughes, by the way, another Julio guy.
Yep.
And then to round it out, we got Elias Pettersson, Dave Snellgrove, Probert Etiquette. He had a good game today. He's at 39 points. So those are your points leaders. We should probably go into the fantasy matchups, but any thoughts on any of those guys I just talked about?
Well, JT
Julio's got a great team.
Julio's stacked, and the Wendigo are not doing too bad with JT Miller. And JT Miller is one of those old players who's gonna.
So Whalen's got three of the
Three.
Oh, Jesus.
3. But again, part of the problem is his goaltending. So I mean, you can score so many points, but
we got to get him on this show and talk about his team. Jesus Christ,
he's got some pretty hard hitters, and he's going to have a really tough choice at the end of the year to decide which one he's going to keep. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Pasta. I would if I was him, but you never know.
Yeah, definitely because of the age factor.
Yeah,
and he's not going anywhere. But yeah, that's very interesting. I forgot he had JT Miller. Unbelievable. So yeah, those are the stat leaders, Nick. Let's go real quick. Before I go into our fantasy scores, real quick. Vegas now leads Ottawa 6-2, Nick, and Colorado is just thumping San Jose 5-1. So, let's take a look at our fantasy scores, buddy. I'll do you the favors, and you are playing the defending champions, buddy. You're down 11-6. We'll dive into each matchup, but you have some work ahead of you here with a couple games left. Woodpeckers lead the aforementioned Washington Wendigo, Whalen's team, 11-8. I'm not sure how close any of these games are at the moment. That was the matchup of the week, I believe, for Don Cherry. Probert Etiquette is back in the win column, baby. He's going to stop the bleeding. He's pounding DuPont. After DuPont beat the champs last week, Nick, Probert, Dave Snellgrove, 12-6 up on DuPont. Tim Kelly cannot get a streak going. The Killer Bunnies, I thought they were going to win this game. No, Scott Lanham's crushing Dan Hall's team. Dan Hall is probably the most sluggish team in our league right now. He's losing 12-5. This was a much-needed win for Scott Lanham, the runners-up of last year's fantasy league. So I know he's breathing a sigh of relief. We got Huma and Langley. Huma is leading Langley 10-9. Nick.
Huma's going to win.
Nick.
So
unbelievable. I thought
Julio's
Stork had this, but
nope.
as I just click on this.
Yep, Julio's
Are you
got
kidding me?
5 games still going on to Langley's 2, and right now
This is
Langley's got
oh my.
Really nobody.
No wonder Stork.
Yep.
No wonder Stork doesn't want to come on our show, Nick. I thought he had that. He was crushing Julio, and Julio was without TJ. He picked up a couple of guys that got hurt. I don't know if you saw that today.
Yep.
This is breaking news here on the Commissioner's Corner. I thought Stork had this one wrapped up, but no, ladies and gentlemen. Huma. Oh no, and now it's tied, Nick. So this has a little drama. It went down to 9-9. This is real time stuff. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to dive in this a little bit, but. And then my score, I'm at 11-8, but Alex is on my tail with the cherry bombs. She's 5-2-2, Nick, and I need a win bad here. I've been up 11-8, but I know we've been tied in hits, 48 apiece. I've only got one game-winning goal, Nick, and I believe if things hold up, she will get one. So it's going to be at least 10-9. Because I think Nick Wall for the Vegas Golden Knights, Ottawa has to score another goal for me to get out of that debacle. I'm fearing for my life here, Nick. So that's the scores over a nutshell. Do you want to pick a game to talk about?
Let's talk about Yuma and the Scorps, because right now, if I'm going through it right, the only reason, well, Yuma actually started a goalie and Stork didn't. And I think that might be why it's going back and forth, because Scorpions were ahead. And right now, the goal allowed average is what is the point. So Scorps are at 3.14 and Huma's at 3.18. So all he has to do is stop a couple more pucks. And
who's his netminder? Logan Thompson?
In right now is Logan Thompson.
Okay. Whoa. So I got that game on right now. He's going to get the win.
He's going to get the win, which won't matter. But they need, Ottawa's going to start peppering him. And as long as he can stop a few more, he's going to pull it out with his goalie at the last day.
Yuma is he is a tough team, Nick. I know you felt he beat me early in the season. We had a great match though. He beat me by a couple last minute. But I remember Julio talking to me yesterday. He was frustrated. Stork's goaltending, he's very lucky because he escaped with those overtime losses.
Yeah.
So he never got the losses there. That would have hurt Stork big time. Yeah. But good for Huma. No wonder Stork's not here and he's looking at trains. He probably is eating some nails right now. He was gloating at me last night, Nick. Stork was confident. He's playing me next week, and he's already saying he's won that game. You better take care of your game right now, Stork.
All I know, and here's breaking news right now. Goal allow has gone from 3.14 to 3.17.
Oh, Julio!
And the save percentage is at 0.901 for the Scorps and 0.893. I'm telling you, a couple more shots and saves, and Julio's going to run away with it because someone didn't decide to play a goalie.
So who did he have a chance to play today? Gorgiev is playing today, and he's on his bench.
Yep.
That is interesting, and Gorgiev would have got the win.
Yep.
Which they're pounding the Sharks.
The only problem is Gorgiev. Well, no, he would have. Yeah, he would have got the win.
Yeah. So unbelievable, Stork. We're gonna have to get reaction from him this week on a Stork's desk. Yeah, no wonder, Stork. I hope you watch this. No wonder you are not coming on our show today. I'm in my own world where I'm trying to get a win here. I'm still up 11-8 as we speak, but standouts in this matchup, Nick. He's taking the lead 10-9.
Now we're down 3.14 to 3.16.
Yeah.
It's climbing, and we're at.
We can watch this all show.
Yeah, I'll keep this one up. We'll move on. Yeah.
Let's go over what got these guys here, though. Austin Matthews, he had 5 goals, 3 assists and 8 points. What a week for Austin Matthews. And Mitch Marner, the combo there, Stork's 2 top draft picks, Nick. 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points for Marner. So the Leafs, I would say, are back in business. Will they get some goaltending from Martin Jones? I'm not sold on Sammy in the net, but the Leafs look like they're going to be that team that is either going to throw a wrench into things, or I think they could. It could be their year
to get to the
Carter
playoffs and
Verhaeghe.
lose in the first round.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. There's a defenseman on Stork's team, Noah Dobson. I don't think he ever could he be a dark horse Norris. He had eight assists this week. He's a great defenseman. They're on Long Island. The Fish Sticks are playing a lot better than I give them credit for, buddy. I'm not sure if you watch a lot of Islanders games. That's the Caps' next opponent. But a lot of point production for Stork. He's almost at the 60-point mark. But what a battle. Julio's right behind him with 57 points. These guys have been slugging it out. Both are assist machines. Both have 2 shorties. No, 4 shorthanded points for Julio this week, Nick. 1 for Stork. That's insane. So we'll see how it goes. They are tied in goals against average right now.
Yeah, it just went in the 10-9.
So we'll move on. Julio had a great week from Nate McKinnon, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points. Chandler Stevenson is currently still playing. He had a 3-point week. What about Mark Stone? He had a GWG in overtime, Nick, against Flames. 7-point week for him. Mika Zibanejad putting up points for the Rangers. Miro Heiskanen on the blue line for the Stars. I mean, that's a Stanley Cup team right there. 5 points. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, an assist machine. Julio's got a very, very good team. And Logan Thompson looks like he might get this boy another win. And Sergei Bobrovsky been pretty good in the nets.
Now 8-11.
Wow. So, yeah, we're going to hear it from Stork this week. Thoughts and prayers to the Scorpions. Man, that's going to be bad for me. Let's move on to your matchup, buddy, with the defending champs. I'll let you have the floor.
Oh, 11-6. It's 11-6, and it seems like it was so far out, but we were so close coming into Saturday. I think we were either I was winning by a couple categories or he was. I mean, we were really super close, and we weren't that far off even coming into tonight. Again, my guys aren't scoring like they have been. You know, I have 14 goals to his 17, 18 assists to his 19, which barely pushes us over. My plus minus has been much better this year than it was last year, but the guy's got goons, and we both know that. He's got 43 penalty minutes already. I knew that coming in that there was no way I was going to win that category. The power play's been buzzing for him. You know, he has 3 shorties, and I have 1. That was rough. We both have game-winning goals tied up, but when it comes down to it, it was the shots on goals and my face-offs. I just could not even come close to catching him. Those 4 categories: hits, blocks kind of come, but he had some blocking machines this week with 61 blocks. That's insane. But
wow.
Same. We were pretty close in goaltending. Both had 2 wins, 1 loss. I beat him on the remainder of the goaltending categories, but there was no shutouts. So again, it's my guys didn't show up and didn't put the punks in the neck, and that's what it came down to, where we would have been neck and neck going into these last 2 games, because right now I got Claude Giroux playing with 3 assists. It was for the week, but for today he's had 1 assist. My second Carlson has 1 goal, and Ross Colton for the Colorado has already got an assist. So I was looking pretty good, but again, just not enough games, not enough players.
Yeah, the week DB Cooper pulls away from you with he's a magician, a defending champ. So he gets away with his goaltending like Whalen, but he's probably more responsible, I guess. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but DB Cooper sure is a goon team, and he's got 43 minutes in penalties this week. The week he played me, he nearly had 80 minutes in penalties, if I recall. It's just unbelievable, man. This guy, he gets a lot of hits, like you said, and block shots. At 61 block shots. It's crazy. But he spreads the wealth. He had Aho today score a goal. He had a 5-point week. Blake Coleman, that's a pretty good week for Blake Coleman. 5-point week. He kind of killed you there, buddy. 4 points from Uyghur on the blue line, but it's just a wealth of points spread out among guys. Nobody really lit it up as far as over that. Skinner, he continues to start getting wins with him. He started that winning streak when the coach change happened in Edmonton, and somehow he gets wins from Vitek Vanacek, who I still don't think is that good. But every time he plays for Mark, he seems to get wins, buddy.
Yep.
Standouts for your team, Nick Ehlers, you got to 3 goals, 3. He's come alive. I have him on another team in another league. 6 points for him this week. I think the Jets are definitely a playoff team. They were on the outs for me. Like we talked about, Stamkos had 5 goals this week, 4 in one game. So, yeah,
Yeah, but you
I
look
think
at
you got a good team, Nick.
my top guys, and obviously Hedman was injured, so he was sitting on the bench for a long time. But I've had to
Yeah.
pick up guys like Evan Rodriguez just to fill spots. But my number
Yeah.
one pick and the captain, no points all week,
Yeah.
and that's gonna kill me. And
Quiet,
we're
quiet
reevaluating
week
a little bit.
also. Sammy Reinhart, and they're on that West Coast trip.
Yep.
He actually has been kind of real quiet. We talked about him.
Yep.
But I think who do you got next week? Do you know? It's a Gretzky
Let me
versus Ovi
Week
division.
11,
It's
I
not me.
have Woody Woodpeckers, Mark Wood.
Ooh,
So that's going to be a tough
a
match.
chance to help me out, buddy. I'll be rooting for you. Let's go to the Woody Woodpeckers. They're up on the Wendigo 11-8. Looks like Mark's going to continue his win streak. He is going to go to 8-2. It looks like Wendigo, I believe he said this will be his third straight loss. It might be his fourth straight. Oh yeah, third straight loss. He's been struggling. Like we said, he's living and dying with his goaltending situation. And it's kind of for him. It's been a down week for offense. Even though 34 points, I would take that. But Mark Wood killing it. 19 goals, 21 assists for 40 points. Whalen with the Wendigo, 13 goals, 21 assists, 34 points. So standouts for the Mark Woods Woody Woodpeckers. They are the number 1 ranked team right now on Don Cherry's grapevine. John Tavares, we talked on the Storks desk, reached the 1,000-point mark. He is humming just like all those other Leaf forwards. The core 4 is humming. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points this week, Nick. Philip Forsberg, I don't think he gets talked about enough. The Nashville Predators are playing well in your Central Division, Nick. He had 5 points this week. Brock Besser, we talked about. Hatsu's, like you said, Mark has 5 goals from him this week. No apples, but 5 goals. And Rob Thomas there in St. Louis, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points, Nick. I like the way he's playing. So Woodboy has a great offensive juggernaut, and he's got the goaltending, Nick. Saros, Vasilevsky, and Sorokin. Even though Sorokin and Vasi are not at the top of their game, Saros, I think, is.
Yeah.
Phenomenal save percentage this week. .955 for Mark. And that's the difference in this game, buddy. As Whalen had a 4-point week from Adam Henrique today. That's helped him. Kucherov is his best player with 5 points. Pasta, a little bit of quiet. Who do you else do you have? JT Miller, 5 points this week.
Yep.
Nazem Kadri, 4 points. Buznevich, 3 points. So Nick, Whalen, he's been going with Kochekov, who looked pretty good today. That'll help his goaltending stats out. But he's been kind of dropping Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on Buffalo and the Lion Kid in Detroit, who's not a starter there. So,
yeah.
Any thoughts on this matchup, buddy?
No, I think you've said it the best. I mean, it's just one incredible team that just keeps humming along and just keeps humming along.
Yeah.
You can't win fantasy games with just points, and I think that's what's killing a couple people, myself included, weekly. Is you just can't win in just points. You have to have some type of goaltending, and until somebody's, I think there's going to be a lot more trade requests. I think that people are starting to realize that,
Yeah.
some of these guys that are carrying 3 or 4 goalies on their bench probably are doing it pretty smart coming up to the middle of the season almost. Great game.
I don't need goaltending. I got Hellebuck and Talbot, but you could always use if you got a scheduling conflict. But Mark is trying to dish him. I'm not trying to. I like keeping things quiet, but he's out. I can tell he's out there trying to shop one. I'm not going to say which one, but I got an offer, and I'm good at goaltending right now.
I'll tell you this,
But
just as a quick update before we move on to the next matchup. Huma has pulled ahead of Langley 12-7.
holy crap. Unbelievable, Julio. I cannot wait to talk to our group for that one.
Yep. So
Well, the way Stork was talking yesterday, hockey guys
yep.
are getting back at him. But now that, like I said, I'm kind of scared to see what he's going to take it out on me. But let's move to the Probert Etiquette, who started the season 5-0, Nick. And then they had dropped 4 straight losses. So they're 5-4.
4 straight.
It looks like they're going to go to 6-4. DuPont in danger of going to 3-7. They're down 13-7. We're going to chalk this one up to Probert. Another 40-point week for Probert. He got the goaltending this week, Nick. He was 4-0. Look at this GAA, 1.96.
It's insane.
And a save percentage of .934. So I know Demko is one of his goaltenders. We'll look in a minute. But Elias Pettersson getting it going. Jack Hughes, that's his prized possession. A guy I talked about with Dave today on a private message, he is fed up with Timo Meier, buddy. He's an absolute no-show this year. In fact, 0 points, a -1. He did get 10 shots on goal. What is wrong with Timo Meier there in Jersey, Nick? I don't know if what's going on. I mean, is this guy a bust of a trade or what? He was like the big pickup for them.
No, I don't know if it was a bust of a trade. I think it's coaching. I mean, it's hard to go from a coach that played to you to somebody who's like, yeah, you're a piece, but you're not our superstar. So just kind of play what you can.
I know.
But I mean, he could be dealing with the same thing that my captain is when, and not to make excuses, but when Krill got collapsed upon and lost almost a month, there was something wrong, and it's still not right. And Dean Evison talked about it after he was released, but there may be something like that. There may be some nagging injury that they're just not talking about. That's because he does look slower. He's not shooting as much as he used to, so maybe there's something behind it. But again, I there's no excuse for the amount of money that he's getting paid, and
I know he was
what
one
they
of the
gave up
guys
for
in
him.
San Jose. When he was in San Jose, he was on a lot of power plays and stuff, and they got so much wealth of talent right now in Jersey. It's probably just not getting as much. But Timo Meier, probably the most frustrating piece on Probert. But what about Mark Scheifele? 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points this week for him. I think he's an unsung guy. Winnipeg. I mean, of course, Mark Scheifele's Mark Scheifele, but as far as I had no idea the Jets were going to be this good. Him and Hellebuck sign up. They're Jets probably for the rest of their careers, most likely. He's also got a guy named Yegor Serengovich, a former Devil. He's flourishing in Calgary. You want to talk about Huberdeau not doing anything. Serengovich is taking advantage of his puck touches out there. I think you might have a superstar in your hands here. I know he scored in 5 straight games out there in Calgary. I don't watch enough of their games, but he's a good young player, reaping the benefits for not being on the Devils. So Dave's got a lot of talent, and he's getting the goaltending from Demko because Carter Hart this week, he was supposed to play the Caps. He was a sick bay guy. He continues to sit out a lot for Dave's team. So I don't know if Dave's fed up with Carter Hart either. Carter Hart and Timo Meier are probably the 2 guys. Oh, and Svechnikov on the IR. Dave's really frustrated with him. So if you want to trade, maybe you think Svechnikov is going to be good in the future, Dave would probably be a willing participant in a trade. Nick, let's move on to DuPont's team, who's still got a couple, or actually Vegas just crushed.
It just came
Ottawa.
down, yeah.
So it's over. So Jack Eichel finishes with 4 points. But are just a 2-point week there, Nick. He had a rough one this week. Marchessault, a 4-point week. There's a lot of wealth spread in Tim's lineup. He had 39 points, but and his goaltending was good too. He was 3-1 this week, just not as good as Dave. So I think Tim's coming along. He's trying to look at a category that he's not doing good in. I don't know, man. I thought Tim had a great week. .901, 909 in save percentage. Dave was just a better team all around.
Yeah.
Looks like Tim has your boy Gus Bus. He picked him up. I don't think he's gonna let him. Oh, and he has Jake Ottinger, who looks like he's been hurt. I haven't been following the Stars that close. That kind of hurts Tim.
Yep.
He's on his IR. Any thoughts on Tim's team there, Nick?
No, I think he's got a great team, but I think you're right. I mean, sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw, and no matter how good of your players are and how much um you got sitting there, it's just sometimes another guy's just better, and that happens. And you shouldn't take that the wrong way. Just take your lumps and move on to the next week because you're not going anywhere. Yeah, with Ottinger, he's listed day to day, but I don't know. It's a lower body injury, and for goalies, that's kind of a rough spot to be in. So we'll see.
All right. Let me refresh the page here real quick, Nick. All the NHL finals are in. So let me go over them one time. Like we said, the Canucks beat the Blackhawks today 4-3. The Capitals in a shootout over the Hurricanes 2-1. 5-1 Ducks over the Devils. In the books just now, Avalanche 6-2 and the Golden Knights 6-3. So Alex did not get the game-winning goal. I didn't see the Senators score.
And I'll go over the ending scores for the league because I'm going to shock you with a couple of these. So the Frozen Norsemen
Let's do it.
Do not win against DB Cooper. I end up coming down, a little late, 6-11. And Americans pull in the win with 11-8 over Alex, and she was struggling to come back. So good win on you, buddy.
Oh, let's go.
Julio with 11 and Stork with 9. Julio pulls it off at the last moment on Sunday. Congrats, Julio. Putting in that goalie was the smartest thing that you did this week. Good job, buddy.
Also, shout out to Alex. That was a great matchup. Cherry Bomb's a new team in the league. She is still up there in the division. She's ahead of me, 5-3-2 now.
Yeah.
Good game, Alex.
And you had Jimmy sweating, I'll tell you. If you could have saw our text machine, it was not good. The Woody Woodpecker staying. Mark stays in first after he beats on the Wendigo 12-8. Probert, we just talked about that, wins 13-7, and the Killer Bunnies go down yet again on the still slipping backwards to Scott with 13-5. So great games all around. It was a lot closer than the final scores do on some of those games, but some of them had been over since about Wednesday. So keep it up.
Diving in real quick, Hull. I don't know. He just seems like I'm looking at today. Killer Bunnies. They're gonna drop to 2-8. They are hurting. They just don't have enough. I'm not sure what Matt Tkachuk's been up to, but he's been pretty quiet lately, Nick. Those Florida Panthers out on the West Coast. He only had 1 point this week. He does have Trevor Moore. I've liked his game with the Kings, but he only got him a goal this week. Tarasenko's been in and out of the lineup. He's been hurt. I saw he wasn't playing today. William Nylander is probably his best player. He had 8 points this week, Nick. Marty Natchez has been very good for him, and he has Timmy Stützle 3 points. Just not enough offense in Killer Bunny land, and his goaltending got him 2-0 this week. Not sure what the deal is. Husso, Montenball, Bennington's been pretty decent. Joseph Wall, we talked about on the Storks desk. He's been out. Hull's just not getting the breaks, I guess. And Scott Lanham, 3. He's going to get his 4th win. He's going to go to 4-5-1, Nick. He doesn't have a lot of offense. He did get 32 points this week, though. Big week from Brock Nelson, a guy we don't talk enough about around the league for the Islanders. The Islanders are used to be a boring team. They're starting to score a lot, Nick. I know Barzell, for me, has been money. Mikko Rantanen killed it for him this week. 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. It looks like he probably had a monster of a day tonight. And then in nets, this is where the bread and butter is for Scott's team. But he was only 2-1 this week. Kemper got him the big win today. He only gave up 1 goal. Charlie Lindgren didn't play today, but he's been pretty good. And Linus Ullmark, defending Vezina, got him a win this week. So Scott, maybe this is a spark for him with a big statement win there in Nova. And there's only one other matchup we didn't talk about. We might as well just throw this out real quick. Me beating Alex. I beat her 11-8. And the difference was, we were tied in hits. She could have beat me there, but it ended up being 48-48. She was desperate in the goaltending, but I had her all week. I did not have a goalie today. In the end, she got a second goaltending loss. She was trying to catch me in shots against, but she almost did. She falls short 89-86, and she almost caught me in saves, but not really, 83-72. She was trying to go get another win, and that did not happen. So my hat's off to her. She did beat me on my power play because I'm usually a good power play team. She beat me 18-12 in power play points, Nick. And for once, I didn't score a shorty point this week, and neither did she. And there was only one game-winning goal in our match. She could have tied me there, Nick. We were talking about that a minute ago. She could have tied me there. It would have been really close, man.
Well, if she would have tied you there, that would have added another goal, which would have put you within one. And if she scored just another one, another place, that's 3 different categories that are now flipped.
That was a
incredible
closer
game. Incredible game. And yeah,
my hat's off to her and my player, Balnuchushkin, my player of the week, 6 points. He got me a power play goal tonight. He's been unbelievable. I picked him up probably 4 weeks into the season. I'm not sure who had him, but he's undroppable for me because he's one of my power play studs. And then Hellebuck, I'm going to give him the nod. He was phenomenal this week. He got me 2 wins. I was unable to start. I was unable to start him. Talbot got me a win as well. Or no, Devin Levi. I picked him up Monday night.
Yeah, after you dropped him from the beginning of the season. But I will tell you that you may be tipping your cap to Hellebuck today, but you were not for the past 3 or 4.
Well, let me backstory on that, Nick. Winnipeg didn't announce their goalies. I had to start a goalie last rain. Kings were on the East Coast. Talbot wasn't playing. That's my other guy. I had to go race and pick Copley up, who, by the way, got hurt. I ended up losing that game, but I had to get my 3 starts in because I only had 2 on that Sunday. I did win last week, so that was not a game I dropped as a heartbreaker. But Dan Hall, he could have beat me that week because of the goaltending snafu. But that's the problem you run into. That's why I picked up Levi early in the week. Who got me a win against the Coyotes. But that was my team. Let's go to Alex real quick to wrap up standouts of the week. Connor McDavid, a goal, 4 assists for 5 points. Had a good week, but not a dominating week. Roman Yossi on our blue line, a goal, 4 assists, 5 points. And anybody else? She picked up some key players that got her some good stats, but nothing stood out. I like Lawson Krause on her team. And J.J. Paterka is probably one of the better savers. Tage Thompson needs to get it going. Shesterkin and Jari, I think she started the wrong goalie. That could have got her into the game. Jari was the goalie against the Leafs, Nick, and she's gonna probably look back. And she told me that she started the wrong goalie that night.
Yeah.
Tristan Jari was a shit show versus the Maple Leafs. But did we get all the games in?
Yeah, we did.
Talk about okay, good show.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you that one of her unsung heroes throughout the whole year, and it was a former Wild player that's been kind of slow going, but Mikael Granlund did pretty good for her with 3 assists, help almost push her past that. So
she picked him up today, I think, or something.
Yep. So good on that.
Yeah, before we this has been a great show, Nick. You bring the best out of me, buddy. I've had a couple rough shows on my part because I was sick last week. I feel 100% better. Got a beer league game here at 10:55. I got to leave in about 45 minutes, but that was week 10. We're going to shift to week 11 starting already tomorrow, buddy. Let's go through those Gretzky division versus Ovechkin division matchups real quick. The Americans will be taking on those Langley Scorpions. So me and Stork are going to have a bet this week. Stipulation to be determined tomorrow. DB Cooper, the champions, versus Cherry Bombs. First time ever. This is going to be outstanding. Mark versus his better half, Alex.
That'll be a cold household for about a week.
Yeah, we'll see how the relationship's going there, guys, after this one. The Woody Woodpeckers are going to take on the Frozen Norsemen, and I am rooting for you, Nick. Mark Wood is obviously the number 1 team right now, so no pressure.
I'm gonna have to pull some rabbits out of somewhere. I'll tell you that those 5 player trades are gonna go quick.
Wow, yeah, this is gonna be. I think it'll be a great game, though, buddy. Probert, he's gonna get Whalen, and Whalen's best effort. Whalen usually plays Dave's pretty good. I'm excited about that matchup. A pair of 2 5-4 teams, man. Or actually, they're 5-5 now. Yeah, because I'm looking at last week's record. Because Woody Woodpeckers are 8-2. You are going to drop to 3-7. Mark Wood is 7-3. Cherry Bombs are 5-3-2. Langley's 4-6, Nick. Jimmy's 5-5. The Killer Bunnies are taking on Huma. Huma's going to be heavily favored here, buddy. He's
Yeah.
6-3-1. Killer Bunnies are 2-8. And then DuPont and Nova. This is a get right week for one of these guys. I think they're in the same boat here. 3-7 Tim versus 4-5-1 Scott. So I think this week's going to be phenomenal, man. Anything stand out to you? Anything you want to talk about here as we wrap up the show?
My match of the week is the commish versus the deputy. I think
Let's go.
The rest of the games we got pretty close. They're gonna be pretty interesting. I think that there's gonna be some surprises as we move forward.
Yeah, there always is.
Some research is going to be done. Some changes are going to be made, and some people are going to be held accountable. So
I don't know what it is, but I have a tough time playing. I might have beaten Stork in other leagues. I've never beaten him in this league. Obviously, we've only had one meeting, and that was last year. He beat me soundly. But in all the other leagues, it's the same theme, man. Stork is a tough opponent for me. I don't know how you guys do it there in the Gretzky division, but I'm glad I only see him once a year. And I know he's going to be so mad tonight, Nick. We'll have a stipulation coming up. It'll be more than a background bet. I'm going to try to bring this guy's. I know Stork, he researches. I'm going to have to be on my game, Muddy. With Kel McCarr being out, I'm not sure. And I didn't want to drop a Keandre Miller today. Rangers don't play too many games next week, so it wasn't a huge loss. But I had to counter some moves Alex made because I didn't really have too many people going today, and I was at thin because Leo Carlson was sat out tonight, a healthy scratch because the kid is on Verbeek's little program there, and that almost killed me. So it's a blessing and a curse to have Leo Carlson on your team. I might have to. You might see Leo Carlson on the waiver wires, guys. I don't know how much I can hang on with this. I'm fighting for my fantasy life, but Nick, man. Good luck with your match. I think you're gonna be good against Woodpeckers. So
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than you think. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we'll lick our wounds or celebrate real shortly if you won. Winners condolences. Week 10 is in the books. And this has been my best Commissioner's Corner ever, and I give all the credit to the Colonel Nick Reedy. That's what happens in pro wrestling, guys. When you go away like CM Punk, you're missed. You're booed. You're whatever. For you're such a polarizing figure, but you're always missed. And when you come back, it generates a buzz, and that is what happened on this show. Nick Reedy, Colonel, don't go anywhere, man. We need you on this show. Back on the Stork's desk this week. We'll happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to you and your family. If I do not see you before then,
same to you.
I'm off all week on vacation, buddy, and we're definitely gonna get you back on the Commissioner's Corner because this thing was awesome. But you get the last word, buddy.
No, happy holidays to everybody in the league. I hope everybody has plenty of time to celebrate with their families and with their friends. And please enjoy it. And we will see what happens with this week because it's going to be a rough one because, again, the games are only getting less and less between now and the new year. So think right, get your goalie straight, and we'll see you next week.
We're officially halfway through the season. And I'm getting to the beer league. Go Squids. We need to win. My point streak was snapped last week as we lost 6-0. But it was a great day for hockey, as Badger Bob always said. And we'll talk to you soon. I'm the Commissioner, Jimmy Milstead, for the Colonel Nick Reedy. Have a good one. Hockey rules.